Hey guys, Xavier here, and today I'm hopping onto the podcast with Belle. You want to say hello? I've come fresh off the Genshin Impact series, and also as of when this episode goes up, from 2 days from that date, it'll be Satoko's birthday, actually.
Whose birthday?
Satoko from Higurashi, the anime that we're talking about.
Poor Satoko.
Why poor Satoko?
No more birthdays where she is.
Are you making a joke about her being dead or something?
Yeah. I mean, would they have birthdays in heaven?
But she's not dead.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing now.
No, I just like to, TRScientist likes to keep track of birthdays, and he lets all of us know about them. Also, he's not that good at doing that sort of stuff as well. The idiot. Anyways, let's get into episode 1, where we start off with Rena wondering to herself how much it takes someone to be happy while hanging out in the junkyard with her friends. We get context for the exact situation, but there's some dead bodies and bags around her.
Because I thought she was referring to the bodies. I was like, I'll get my friends to help. I was like, how? They're dead. You know what I mean? Are you gonna like fairies in the pet cemetery?
The fairies?
No, you know the movie Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, I know the movie Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, I thought they were her friends that in their body bags, and was like, okay, what, you're gonna go to the pet cemetery and just revive them?
No, well, we won't get context for exactly what's happening now, but because we're gonna go back a bit to get to this point, where we get to see an epic water fight, basically. And like,
Sadly, it's not like Avatar.
No, it's better than Avatar. I'd say it's better. Because...
of course you would.
Well, they're using water guns and like Keiichi's manages to dodge Mion's shot and like manages to get beside her and shoots her in the face.
It's like, how old are they?
So Mion is 14. Satoko and...
Exactly, you're not allowed to like it.
Satoko and Rika are 11.
Exactly, it's worse.
No, I'm not saying it in an inappropriate way. It's like how they, like, the strategies and stuff like that used.
I bet you were.
What? Why are you so inappropriate, Bailey?
I could ask you that same question.
It's like, what are you doing, man?
But not with you.
Oh my.
So anyways, moving on.
But yeah, so Rena's Satoko end up in a face-off situation. Like, Rena's hiding behind the wall, and it's like, oh, she's out of water. So she pulls out the hidden gun that she had ready from the hole in the wall of the school. And
so she be planning.
like she planned ahead, but then Satoko reveals she planned ahead of the plan ahead, where she clogged up the gun with sand. Although Rena pulls out some weird water bending skills, like she pulls out Avatar moves to like splash Satoko in the face with water. Because like the distance, there's no way she would get the distance from that.
Yeah.
And
I guess
I know everything I'm
depends
saying
on-
sounds inappropriate, and I apologize for the light. It is so bright that I literally can't do anything about this.
light is good. Run towards the light.
I'm not dead though. I only lost a hand. Like a arm. This is just the best representation of it at the moment. So yeah, at this point, like when Renna's got like her guard down, Kenshi comes out of nowhere to go after Renna, but he misses completely, and she gets a double water gun in hand. And of course, you gotta have your pretty like dual banter, but in the end, it's a tie between the two of them. So
But shouldn't like because what's it? Was it Renna? Sorry.
yeah, Renna
Because-
and Kechi are the last two people.
Yeah. No, I'm saying because Renna, because Satoko put sand in Renna's gun, doesn't that isn't that cheating?
No. If it's something you can do, it's legal.
No, it
Obviously,
isn't.
not hurting
You
other
take that
people.
back.
Not hurting other people is like hurting people is not allowed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like in actual battle games where if you have a paintball gun and someone's like plugged it somehow. Anyway, you want to take the next point?
Don't I have to?
Oh, don't worry. This next bunch gets into the real pedo stuff.
Oh, yeah. Since both of them won, Rika, Mion, and Satoko get their punishment game from both of them. And their punishment is to work at Angel Mort, which is illegal since the legal age for students can work is 15.
And yes, Mion does work there, but it's owned by her uncle.
So she's an exception to the rule.
Like, technically not allowed, but because it's a family member, it's somewhat okay.
But what kind of family member would allow their own niece to wear the clothes she was wearing during the water battle with a cattail?
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah. I will also say, I don't mean to just make this sound creepy, but Rika's skirt was a bit short.
You're goddamn right it was.
Yeah, you can see everything down below.
Below the equator down south.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't be talking about that with an 11-year-old, but it's what the show presented at the time.
You know what they
Please
say,
don't
you're
put
as
in the
old
comments
as
that I'm a
your shoe
pedophile or anything like that.
size. But that makes it worse if you're as old as your shoe size. You ever hear that saying?
What?
You're as old as your shoe size. And that makes it worse.
Really?
It makes them even younger. Yeah, it's just an old saying I heard once.
Anyway, let's move on. Because Rena gets amazed by the cuteness of Satoko's outfit, and she's like, "I want to take her home."
Cat, the kitty cat.
Yeah. No, Satoko, not Mion.
Oh, Satoko, sorry.
Yeah, but not if Ire has anything to say about it as he comes flying in like a spinning top.
Spinning kick.
And he's like, somehow he makes the scene creepier still by saying he'll be the one to take Satoko home. It's like, dude, you're not doing anything to help your case here. And then it's like Ren is chasing Ire and Ire is chasing Satoko and Renna. It's like, doesn't make that makes me look like a saint compared to what he does. Oh, and it comes complete with the cartoonish sound effects.
I don't know why, but it reminded me of those old Looney Tunes shows.
Like Roadrunner?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean by classic cartoon sound effects. At least we have a saving grace and a good old distraction from this behavior with a new character. She's a pink-haired lady who's named Rena. He calls Rena Reina-chan.
Is it Rena, or Rena?
So Rena is the pink-haired girl. Rena is one of the main cast. Reina is... Well, we'll find out later exactly what that means. Meanwhile, but enjoy this cake that Rena pays for.
Whose birthday is it?
No, it's just Rena trying to be nice. She's trying to play nice.
What's she up to?
Well, we'll find out that later. Put a pin in that. Let's put one of my fingers there at that.
We're gonna put a pin in it.
So yeah, on the way home, Red does reveal to Keiji that she moved to Hinamizawa a year before Keiji did. She's surprised how every day can be so fun, and Rena wants to continue the fun by treasure hunting. Even though there's like storms rolling in. It's like, why would you want to go treasure hunting in the middle of a storm where you could be surrounded by metal? Like,
that's like hiding under a tree during a lightning storm.
yeah, no, that's way worse than hiding under a tree in a lightning storm. If you're hiding in the junkyard full of metal, including what you're standing on, you're going to get absolutely shocked.
I don't think it works that way.
What? It just nature ignores the giant mass of metal?
I don't know. Like it would depend on.
No, but yeah,
wet.
the chances would be much higher of the lightning hitting because of all the metal.
I'll have to look this up.
I'll continue along. Anyway, so yeah, Rena goes to the junkyard, where she has a hideaway spot inside an old camper van, which contains her collection of dolls, for some reason, and also a constellation map on the roof. I've never heard of Rena having any interest in maps or like space. Have you?
I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Anyway, so yeah, as the rain falls, Rena reflects on her past of when she went to lunch with a woman with long brown hair, and talking about a guy named Akihito. We find out this woman is Rena's mother, and credit where credit's due. Rena's mother literally is just like upfront about her plans. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna divorce your like your dad and marry Akihito. And also, apparently, she is pregnant.
Oh,
Probably with
Who
Akihito's baby.
who could have done that? Who could it be? What
Anyway,
sick monster could defile such a sweet girl?
no, the mum's pregnant.
Oh, so moms can't be girls?
She's a lady.
Are you saying we can't call her a lady? Are you saying we can't call her a beautiful girl? She has to be a birthing person? She's a birthing woman.
There you go, Bailey.
Alright.
But yeah, Rena's response to this is to take a golf club and just do some good old-fashioned smashing of her mum's stuff. Not of anything inappropriate. Anyway, so yeah, Ren.
Well, to be honest, I thought she was gonna go after her mum.
Yeah. Don't worry.
No,
Don't worry. Her murderous tendencies come a bit later.
yeah, but when I first saw it, I was like, no, I'm going to be an only child. There can be only one. Reminds me of like South Park, where Kenny finds out he's gonna have a sibling younger than him, and then some mom's like, "What are you doing, Kenny?" And he's holding a plunger. Starts chasing after the mom.
Just suck it out through the through that area.
Yeah, but it turns out the child being born is him.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because then he dies, and then when the mom gives birth, it's him. Because the parents went to this satanic cult, and so the joke is, in South Park, Kenny dies.
Yeah.
They made an episode about it, and the joke is the reason the kids don't address it is because the parents went to this cult. So whenever he dies, they have no recollection of it.
Oh.
They remember the day, what happened, but they just don't remember him dying.
I also remember there was an episode where Kenny becomes a zombie.
Yeah, I think that's one of them.
Anyway, we're getting a bit off track here. We're gonna get back to Rena returning home.
Where were we?
So yeah, Rena returns home to find that her dad's decided to change up the design of the living room. And, he's feeling a bit refreshed. However, she's suddenly not happy when she sees the Colonel outside in the rain. And that it's going to be thrown out. It's like, how did she even get that in the first place?
I don't know. Plot convenience.
Well, considering how dirty it looks, she had to have found it at the junkyard. Right?
Yeah, maybe she built it from scrap.
You can't really build one of those from
scrap yards and use that for artwork.
I don't think she has the skill to do that.
You can have the skill to accomplish whatever you want if you put your mind to it.
I feel like she found it and had her friends help her get it back to the house or something.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Anyway, Rena's dad asks her a favor to pick up 2 jackets from Akunomiya tomorrow after school. And she's so happy with the fact that Rena picked them out for him. It's like, why so serious?
What clothes they want.
You want to take the next point? It's a bit of a long one.
Oh, yeah, it is. So, the jackets aren't ready for Rena to pick up due to traffic from a car accident. So she goes to a nearby cafe to wait. And at the cafe, also at the cafe as Rena with someone else, there's this other person doing shady loan shark business. And the two of them are also working an angle to Rena's husband to get as much money out of him as possible. Rena has found out he's been paid a lot of consolation money.
Yeah, it turns out it's like 50 million yen, which is like $500,000, like around that.
Yeah, they plan to use Rena's partner to get her husband to pay to end ties with him. As the group leaves, Rena stays behind to pay for the food and drinks, and Rena sees that it's Rina, meaning she knows it's her dad that's being targeted. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, she's not happy with that reality.
What a twist.
Well, it's a
But
twist
she-
everyone saw coming. Really.
Like a serpent.
Yeah, it's like, you know someone's going to do something bad when they got coloured hair. And yes, I
Yeah.
know saying that a lot of characters in the show have coloured hair.
Yeah. Kind of like the real world too.
No. It's mostly just anime world.
But I've been listening to American news, so. But anyway, both Shion and Kasai go to the cafe to enjoy the daily special sweet, and Shion strikes a conversation with Rena. Kasai knows the people Rena was with and reveals that the guy Rena is with is Teppei Hojo. Also, Rena's real name is Ritsuko, as
Yeah.
it turns out. Teppei is probably Rena's pimp.
No, pimp.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to say it or not.
That's fine.
He's her pimp master with a top hat and a cane and everything.
Well, no, he doesn't have that going for him.
Yeah, otherwise he would be her Mr. Monopoly.
Yeah.
Teppei and Rena get by threatening others and gambling, and also pull badger games on unsuspecting men. Upon hearing this, Rena runs out of the cafe to trail Rena and find out what she's up to.
So basically, what a badger game is the girl preys on an unexpected guy, and then like does a whole relationship thing with them, and then her partner comes along and is like, "What are you doing with my girl?" Basically,
Oh yeah, it's like pay me.
pay me money, like pay, like the guys to pay his partner money to break it off, and then when that's done, the girl just leaves, never to be heard from again. I know the badger game can go either way. It can be the girl doing it or the guy doing it.
Yeah.
Just depends on the target.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on to our next episode, and Rena just speeds on home, and it's just like finds a letter from her dad saying that an emergency came up. It's like perfect opportunity, go for the money box, and she finds some money in there, and also several balance books. And in those balance books, she finds that there's been a lot of purchases totaling several million yen. It's like, why? It's like,
Where the hell did you get that kind of money?
well, that's the consolation money, and he's spending it all on Rena.
I don't know what I'd do with that much money. Wait, what's the conversion rate?
So it's like 100 yen. I think it's equivalent. It's around equivalent to $1.
11,000 is $1.
No, 100 is $1.
Ah, okay.
So 50 million yen would be $500,000.
Okay.
Anyway, at the school the following day, Kenshi is bored with how peaceful things are. It's like, dude, don't ask for action in your life, otherwise you're gonna get action in your life.
Don't be starting what you can't finish, bitch.
Yeah, and Rena's like, she likes things to be peaceful. And Kenshi wonders if there's a trick to turning boring days into fun days. To which Rena answers, the trick is to realize there's a limit to happy days. It's like,
Oh, happy day.
well, yeah, Happy Days did have a limited number of episodes, didn't it? Anyway, that was just a conversation to throw in there. Ren returns home once again to find Rena there, and she's got pre-made meals from a restaurant that she and Rena's dad went to. I don't think we ever learned the name of Rena's dad.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Rena, as seeing her, just turns around and walks on out. It's just like, she is just out of the house. Also, I put this in as a small note. Rena has a star tattoo. Feel like at some point we've seen that before somewhere, haven't we?
What would have been ages ago.
Feels a bit weird to be seeing that. Anyway, you want to take the next one? The next few?
Damn
it.
Where were we?
Rena's following her to the junkyard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rena ends up following Rena to the junkyard in her car to find out what Rena is up to, but Rena keeps running away from her. Rena gives a menacing response to Rena about her secret hideout, that no one comes to it, and cannot hear anything that happens here. With everything Rena knows about the scam, Rena is going to try to pull, and her own personal past with her mom divorcing her dad. Rena says she won't approve of remarriage. No, Baka.
No.
Go away. You are drunk. Both reveal to the other that they hate each other, but Rena is convinced Rena couldn't stop Rena's dad from remarrying, saying she's pregnant.
Oh, that's a big trigger for Rena there.
There can only be one! Rena reveals she knows about the bad... You know, it's actually a thing. They did this study where it's like, these little babies, they're like they're like two, and they got like the mothers to walk in, and they got like the fake plastic babies. And then the oldest ones, they started crying because they weren't getting the attention.
Oh.
And then they hated the plastic baby that were attacking it. They're like, eh.
Anyway, what's Rena's response in this situation?
Oh yeah. So she's not happy. So.
Don't mention the B word there, right there.
The Badger game. Sorry, what?
In the next one. I wrote the B word.
She knows about the Badger game, Renner and Tepa pulling Arena's dad. In response, Rena female dog slaps, kicks, and strangles Rena, tried to kill her off. Rena
Like,
picks up
she
a sharp glass.
backhands her so hard.
Yeah, she slices. Is it Rena or Rena?
So Rena picks up the glass and slices Rena with it.
Yeah, I know, but R-I-N-A, is that Rena or Rena?
Rena.
Yeah, Rena across. So she slices Rena across the stomach with a shard of glass. She then gives Rena some pipe to the face and bashes her to death.
I wrote it like that just to make it sound dirty.
Yeah, she did. She gave like pipe to. It's like it was awesome.
Well, she smacks her in the head with it.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, but
So
I wrote it like that just to make it sound like Rena's taking some, you know what.
Yeah, that's why she needs to go to a farm, grind up the bodies, turn it into slop, and feed it to the pigs.
Like,
Pigs will eat anything. That's a good way to get rid of a body.
like Tiger King style.
Yeah.
Except it's pigs and not exotic cats.
Yeah. Rena once again returns home to wetness. Pepe beat up her dad as part of the Badger game, wanting to get a double kill. Rena confronts Pepe and takes him to the junkyard to join Rena. At the junkyard, Rena's flashlight goes out. But this is a ruse for her to use her nutter to give Pepe a splitting headache. Now, for those who aren't aware, what is a nutter?
So Nata is, it's like a meat cleaver sort of knife, but it's like got a point at the end.
Yeah.
It's basically like you can use it to like pull stuff to you as well. I think it's mostly used for wood actually. Anyway, after another day of school, Rena says she needs to go home early, and Keiji calls her out on having home stuff the previous day, as well as being curious if something happened at her home. Rena says, well, Rena's home stuff doesn't really involve a house at all. It more involves using a double-sided nokagiri saw, which is a Japanese square saw blade, to cut up the bodies of Teppei and Rina into manageable chunks. And she's not going to carry around a whole human.
Yeah.
So back at the school, the other members of the games club realize they don't have enough pieces to play mahjong. So instead they decide to have a treasure hunt game at the junkyard. Oh no, Ren is in trouble, isn't she?
Yeah.
Rika doesn't want to go there because of a ghost that apparently haunts the junkyard. However, the game becomes about finding the ghost to win, running up for finding the hidden right arm, and third place is for finding something Rana would like. Or will like.
God,
Instead of this whole treasure hunt happening, and we don't get to see any of it, it smash cuts to where we started in episode 1, where it's like Rena's trying to find somewhere to bury the bags, and Keiichi's upset that Rena didn't come to them for help. It's like, dude, she just killed two people.
It's like, you mean help killing them or help with
Just dealing with the situation.
Because I was gonna say, wow, like that's not how. I don't know what you're watching, but I don't remember him offering to help kill.
No, but I'm saying she's already killed 2 people. Like,
yeah, but
why are you helping her?
I thought you were saying that he's disappointed that he didn't get to help Rena kill Rena and the guy.
Nah, but like if she did, murder probably wouldn't have needed to be the answer to her problems. That's what he's trying to get at.
Okay.
So yeah, Red's like, here's the situation. How do you solve it? And Because he just doesn't have an answer immediately ready. She's like, see, it's impossible. It's like, give him 5 minutes to think of a solution. It's like, what's the rush? Right?
What is at stake for you here?
Rena reveals a bit more of her past to her friends about what happened before she moved to Hinamizawa and the choice to stop disclosing information to her friends. It's not that much information, it's just like, I don't want to talk about my past. Which makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and Kechi's response is to say that by telling what was happening, that even if they didn't have an answer to the problem, they could have still had a better future than it is now. It's like, yes, Rena would be, like, Rena's dad would have lost a lot of money, but 2 people would still be alive. It's like,
Are we sure we can call those bloodsuckers people?
yeah, people are people no matter who they are. Anyway, Kechi proves he's okay with her having murdered 2 people because he's a friend of hers. It's like, dude, in this situation, police would already be called. Although it's 1980, so you don't really have a phone on you, don't you?
No, unless it's one of those hand portable ones, you know, those big ones that are like the size of bricks.
Mm.
Can you imagine walking around with one of those these days?
It's just like,
Oh, I'm getting a call, excuse me. Hello?
hello.
Oh, sorry, let me just, my antenna's not getting any reception.
Hey, at least with those type of phones, if you needed to beat someone up, you had a brick to use. What is this? Talking so much about murder.
I don't know.
Anyway, get back to what we're talking about. Everyone else is like, okay, hand in. Gonna do a woo! Yay, murder! And the 5 of them work together to wheel the body chunks in a cart to a they go to a random cave, I think, don't they?
Yeah, let's let the bear eat the body.
Although, later on it's like they buried it. Actually, no, they did bury it. Anyway, let's get past that and get to the day of the Cone Drifting Festival. It has arrived, and Rena's late. She's never late.
What the hell is going on?
And
What kind of bullshit is this?
it seems like the Games Club also have a tail on them. We got, yeah, Oishi is on their tail. Moving on to our next episode. You want to take the first few? You haven't had much to read.
She and
Oishi.
Eerie find. Yeah, I know, but we were talking about like the ghost that hunts the junkyard. So it's just like, ooh.
Okay, I get it.
Ushi and Eerie find the victim that had clawed out their own throat. There was also a piece of lumber nearby that Ushi thinks the victim, Tomataki, was swinging around like the fence. Eerie, is that her name, Eerie?
Eerie, yeah.
Yeah. Remembers Mio was with Tomatako as well. So Ushi asked one
It's
of his
Oishi.
team to check. Ushi to
Oishi.
check if Ushi
Oishi.
Oishi man take me inside and so Oishi asked one of his teammates to check if she made it home, and if there's any unidentified female bodies that have been found, just in case.
I'm
The
face
game's
palming right now
club.
because of you.
You're what?
Face palming.
Okay, well I'll leave the rest up to you.
Nah. You mispronouncing the name just be humorous, and I'm like,
You've damaged me. You've damaged my body. You've insulted my race. But you still haven't taken my pride.
come on, Bailey, come on, come on, come on.
Ow, my pride.
And what?
I said, ow, my pride. The Games Club are playing some kind of mystery card game, and Sakato says, the syringe has all the hints to the mystery.
I'll say right
However,
now, I could not find out what the game was at all.
reminded me of the movie Jigsaw. One
Mm.
syringe is the antidote. You have to choose.
Or, if you really want to be dumb, just inject all three into the one person.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see the next one.
Anyway, continue on. The game gets interrupted by Rena having a visitor. Her visitor is Oishi, who suggests they go to a sub to talk because it has air conditioning. Very predator-like, like predator type behavior there. I guess 98s were just fine with that behavior. Like stranger danger wasn't a thing yet.
Bad touch. Well, when you
Yeah.
have a big community, you don't really have to worry about stranger danger because you already know who the stranger is in the community. So he or she should be will be the ones in danger.
Even if you know someone's name, if you don't know them that well, they're still a stranger to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a community, a neighborhood, and a stranger comes in, you'll be like, yeah, nah, we know what you're doing. It's not gonna fly here, buddy.
Hmm.
Because everyone would know everyone, right?
Anyway, so in the car, Oishi reveals what happened to Tomitake and Mio. And at first, you don't realize this is a flashback. It's like a similar situation.
Yeah, it's like what they did with Shion and Mion. You didn't know it was a flashback in the beginning?
Mm. But yeah, we start off a flashback where Rena and Mio ran into each other at the library, and Mio's there to investigate the deaths caused by Oyashiro's curse, and how there's an organization behind these deaths.
God, when was the last time I went to a library?
Never.
Seems so long ago.
The only time you've ever really gone to a library is the school library whenever you were in school.
Oh, yeah, of course you'd say that.
What? I went there for the computer to play games.
Uh-huh. Play some Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my friends did.
Call of Duty, Halo.
Multiplayer.
I used to play local math games as well. Anyway, we're getting off topic with what happens at libraries. We're going to get back to this library in particular. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good.
Really?
Just loving listening to the serotonin coming from your voice.
So yeah, Rena reveals to Mio that she has met Oyashiro before and explains how she used to live in Hinamizawa. She
Hold
she
on,
moved to
Nakizawa? Why does that name sound so familiar?
she moved to Ibaraki due to her mother's work, and like the rest of the story is pretty obvious considering she's back in Hinamizawa. She we get a new piece of information here where she reveals she cut her own wrist with a razor. It's like, oh, okay, self-harm. Nice little detail to add. Except the self-harm is not the more disturbing bit. It's the maggots in her blood.
Ugh. Well, you know, if you think about it, maggots are kind of good because that's what they used to do in the olden days. They'd get maggots and put them in an open wound.
Oh.
And so, as your wound heals up, the maggots stay inside and they eat the dead flesh.
Although, if it's not dead flesh, that's not as good, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there was this one story that I heard. It's like this girl, like this young lady, was like in a plane crash, but she survived because she was in the middle seat, and the two outside seats cushioned her fall into the jungle. So she like found the river, was following the river, and got to a boat. Like, so she takes the fuel from the boat because her arm was full of maggots. And what she does is she pours like the petrol on the maggots, and the maggots come out.
God.
It is a natural true story as well. I'm not making stuff up here. Anyway, you want to take the next point now? You haven't had as much to read as me.
I sure can. Mayo offers Rena her treasured scrapbook to look at, knowing Rena will take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
She asks Rena to keep the scrapbook and her research secret. Rena finally takes her time to read Mio's scrapbook, finding a section about the maggots clearly written before Rena ever told her about it.
So this is like this scrapbook. Like when Rena finally takes a look at it, we're back in the present.
Yeah, that was what I was confused about. I was like, what's going on?
Like it took her that long
You know
to
what I
just
mean?
take a peek. You're getting tired there.
Yeah, just had a tough day at work.
Mm.
Okay, where was I?
We're past the scrapbook one.
Okay, Ketchy finds Rena hiding in a bush, and Rena pulls him into the bush, not her bush, to tell him she feels like she's been watched recently.
I was
Rena
going to write
also-
her bush, but that sounded a bit wrong.
Yeah. Rena also explains about Mio's scrapbook, and that Mio is dead.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
humanity.
Oh my god,
Well,
they're
someone
eating
please
her,
think of the
and they're gonna
children.
eat me. Oh my god.
Is that from what movie was that from? Is that like Troll 2 or something?
Something.
Or House of Leaves?
Something.
Anyway, getting back to our anime, both see a car pass by, And if they both think it might be the people following her around. The conversation continues with Rena echoing Mio's thoughts on how the whole thing's being done by an organization, and that it's the Zanazaki family in particular. So yeah. Anyways, Rena decides to take off to verify her information, and Keiji goes back on the road and has an encounter with the people, like the guys in the white van. They ask if he had seen Rena walking around the area, and they also ask how to get to the school. It's like, why the school?
What the hell is going on? What kind of witchcraft is this?
So yeah, as day progresses, Keiji calls Rena to find out what is actually in the scrapbook. He's like curious about what's in that scrapbook. However, Rena keeps it very vague, talking about how, oh yeah, Shiro wasn't actually a god.
He was a devil.
No, but the teachings of Oyashiro all had one thing in common. Not to let people out, and not to let people in. So yeah.
He's the devil wears Prada.
Well, apparently Oyashiro was born from the demons coming from Onigafuchi Swamp and attacking the villagers. However, this piece of information is proven to be false based on Mio's research, and it turns out that it's parasites that came from the swamp, and if anyone touched them, they became a demon and that attacked villagers. So Keiichi's like, wait, if it's not the first piece of information, could Oyashiro be a foreign doctor? Rena does say there is a doctor character associated with trying to treat the contagious disease that was going around from swamp through allopathy, which is basically treatment through traditional means. And also, we find out why this parasite is not widespread. These parasites have to stay in Hinamizawa because it's the perfect conditions for them. Anyone that tries to leave, the parasites in them, like, have experienced some extreme symptoms, like the scratching and stuff like that.
Oh, poor little guys. Reminds me of Invader Zim. I don't know if you've seen that show.
I have not.
And it's an alien that comes to Earth and he's trying to conquer it. And he watches Earth TV about how aliens are defeated by human germs. And he gets this machine and these goggles, and it allows him to see like the germs, like X-rays, like and everything's all over his house.
Yeah,
and so
he's just like disturbed by it.
Yeah, and he's like, must clean, must get rid of filth. And you see this little germ that's like a little baby. It's like, he's like, shh.
Anyway,
it's like a little girl.
So yeah, Keiichi does bring up a good point. That it's not uncommon for people to come and go from Hinamizawa nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's because things worked out as Oyashiro planned. Like, it worked to the point of, like, people could come and go. And the people that remained from the parasite incident survive due to compatibility with the parasites, and that's how like the story of demon blood and human blood became mixed together.
Would you mix your blood with a demon blood?
No.
Sure, you
I
don't
was
make
avoiding
it-
Hinazawa and get on with my life.
You could be called. You could actually get it, and then start killing the people in the village, and we will call you the Demon Slayer.
No, that you have that wrong there. The Demon Slayer killed demons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He slaughtered the villagers. He's got the demons in him.
Ah.
Okay,
take
wait,
on
wait.
the Nezuko situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the true history of the Con Drifting Festival that we just saw is actually to eat the intestines of the person that became insane. And
God.
the reason why is it's because the purpose of vaccination. Never before has eating someone else's intestines been used as a form of vaccinating someone.
God, imagine if that was what we needed to do for the vaccine. You must find an infected person
And
and consume their entrails.
I wonder how
Oh,
they
no,
taste.
It reminds me of Far Cry 3. I don't know if you played Far Cry 3.
No, I haven't played any of the Far Cry games.
Oh, well, there's this it's this DLC. It's hilarious. I'll never forget it. So, in the DLC, The Pit, these people have a disease, and you got to find like this cure, and the cure that from the enemy faction, it's like a little baby infant, and you can choose to
Ooh.
side with like the sick people or the other people trying to use the baby to make a cure. So in the game lets you, okay, you're gonna steal the baby and deliver it to him. But if you have the cannibal option unlocked, you're allowed to eat the baby. And if you do, you get like full immunity to radiation in the game. And it's like so funny. It's like I'd done it before, and it was like it makes the game so much easier to go to places and explore because you can die from radiation poisoning. So it's like eat a baby, but then the cure moves to you, and you get an immunity to radiation. But you lose karma, so it's like, am I willing to risk it all?
How much karma would you lose?
I don't know, it's like an evil. It's not a good thing to eat a baby. You lose a lot. You gain a lot of evil karma and lose a lot of good.
Anyways, let's just.
Speaking of eating entrails, Rena spots the white van outside the school and isn't happy that it is there, and is probably unhappy with Ketchy as well.
Yeah, her face was like a reaction of like, why is the van there? And also, why did Ketchy?
Why? Why you betray me?
Yeah, it was a betrayal face. Anyway, so yeah, one of the guys from the van hands Chair an envelope, and like Rena sees this exchange happen, and it's like sneaks in, and it's like calls the number on the envelope. It is not in service. She knows that they don't work for this company.
He knows you're watching.
But so she just like ups and leaves. She's like out of the school. It's like, and that's where we're gonna end this podcast episode with Rena doing a runner.
Legging it.
Anyways, links will be in the description to both of my channels and both of Bailey's channels for you guys go and check out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know next video comes out. A ding, a ding, a ding, a ding.
Dong, dong, ding dong.
Bailey.
What's my new thing now?
No. That is copyright strikes waiting to happen.
You dag nabbit.
Do you want me to get copyright strikes and have to not make videos anymore?
Darn tootin'.
Oh, I see how it is. You're trying to take out the competition.
Yeah. I can't handle the fire, so I need to get you out of the pan.
I don't even have like 100 subscribers, mate. On this channel.
Oh, well, you never know.
Anyways, I'm Xavier. Xavier out.
I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.